Press the button.
No, sorry, I already pressed the button. Welcome to Flash Fiction Live, where Spencer wants to press all the buttons. This boy, I say hi, or I'll start going, okay, well, I'll talk to y'all later, and he comes running from the other side of the room going, I want to hang up. I was like, just barely headed in that direction. He just already is like, I know she's going to end this conversation soon.
Guess what time it is?
Or he just comes up like when I start the conversation and goes, Mom, I want to hang up. And I'm like, okay, first off, I just signed on. Like, we're not hanging up already. I got to talk to my coworkers.
Oh, he does this when you're working too?
Yes. Luckily, my coworkers are used to it.
That's hilarious. He has no chill.
Yeah, I had to talk to some customers, like, of people outside my work. So I went to work that day. And
Yeah,
like,
you're like, no.
I'm like, this would be embarrassing to have like my son yell, Mom, I pooped, or something in the background. What's up, kid?
Hi, Kelly. Happy lurking. Ow. Morning, Laura. How are you?
Oh, good. Yawning.
Robbie is aggressively loving on me, which means that he's rubbing his teeth on my hand.
You're not calling
I
Joey.
put my hand in a spot where it's accessible to him.
You know what? Bravo to all of you coming in, because we originally set this for like 9:30 for some reason instead of 8:30 when we always start at 8:30. I will say always. It's the new always, because the other always was 8 a.m. Wasn't it?
Was it? No,
it was 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Mm-hmm. Never 9:30, unless we're super late, but dear Lord. But bravo to y'all, and bravo to you two for working and telling people we're here.
Here's the cat. Here goes.
Yeah.
That actually really hurt, though, whatever he did to my hand with his tooth.
Oh.
No.
Oh, Laura incorporated her edits for Tiny Shivers yesterday. Ooh. I read that as Tony Shivers, and I was like, that's kind of a cool name.
What's happening to Tony?
Yeah, it made me think of like Oliver Twist for some reason, like it was going to be an Oliver Twist retelling, but it's Tony Shivers. I don't know what that sounds like. Yeah. Tony Shivers actually sounds like a radio personality or something.
Okay, we've got the timer.
I do have the prompt.
And I've got my blank Google Doc.
Oh, yeah. I should probably open up Microsoft Word at some point.
And it is not October.
I feel like Mac reluctantly made it so Microsoft Word could work on their computers. They're like, we're dominating everything. Fine. You got this one, Microsoft.
Yeah, I don't use any of their word processing stuff. I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I got, like, for writing stuff, it's Microsoft Word, maybe Google Docs if I'm, like, sharing things, because it's a little bit easier, which, again, not Mac. And then, what was the last thing? And then Microsoft Word, like Scrivener, Microsoft Word, and Google Docs. Like, those are my three things that deal with writing. All right. Let me paste.
I think he actually cut me with his tooth. Like, he didn't bite me. He was just like, you know how they like rub.
It was a slice.
Yeah, but with like the side of his tooth, and that's not ideal.
It's probably like up there with, and I'm gonna make people cringe when I say this, but it's probably up there with like when you accidentally get I would call it a paper cut, but with tinfoil.
Ooh, I've never done that.
Oh, it is so much worse than a paper cut.
That sounds deeply unpleasant.
Oh yeah, very unpleasant. Spencer wants to join today. Oh,
what?
I'm noticing stuff in my notebook that I need to do. always hesitant when people follow me on Instagram, and I'm like, are you legit? Do I need to follow you back? Like,
I kind of wait a little while and see what they're about, because sometimes they'll unfollow you after a couple of days. They're trying to do the follow for follow, and if they follow you, they're going to unfollow you anyway. But they just follow you, wait for you to follow them, and then they, like, after about 3 days, they'll unfollow you. And so I'm like, I'm just going to wait and follow people.
I want to show Chandra Stitch.
You want me to show Chandra Stitch?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to unplug my computer and hold it underneath the desk. So.
Look over this.
I do. That's actually, I need to add that to my list of things to do. Stitch's eye. Stitch is a dog, by the way, for people who don't know.
Oh.
I'm not talking about like a blue plush of the Disney character.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently dogs have third eyelids. I did not know this. Like, so they got like their eyes closed thing, and then they got this thing that like comes from the nose out across, and it just helps lubricate the eye or something like that. Well, it was inflamed a month ago. Please don't click the thing. It was inflamed a month ago, and where are you going with my pen? What are you going to write with? Like, write on? What paper? Here. You can use this paper. Only this paper. I got an old notebook. I like it before I throw this away. All right, there you go. Now you can go. Okay. As I was. So it was like really inflamed, and it turned out it got scratched somehow. And so she got like antibiotics and everything, and that we were good. And now her third eyelid is just like growing across her eye, but it's not inflamed. It's not swollen like it was. It's like a lazy eyelid situation that's always there. And that's the best way I can describe it. So interesting. Well, to me, I guess. But I have a picture of it now, and I sent it to my mom, and my mom's like, oh, it's so much better than what it was, because she saw it swollen in person. And I'm like, Mom, this is still not ideal, okay? I don't care if it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I consider this on the same par because we still got an issue. What's up, kid?
Yeah, 100%. And anything that impacts vision is important.
Yeah. Hey, hold it like this, remember? How do you hold your pens?
Like this.
Yeah, that's a little bit better. No, don't grip like this. Remember, you want to hold on to something here. Remember? I never considered that we like wake up not knowing how to hold a pencil, that we have to train ourselves to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But my son grips like this, or he's up here, and I'm like, how do you have any control? And so I'm having to like his school's teaching him to like hold down here. And
I remember having such a hard time with that. But I think also because, you start out, like, you hold a toothbrush that way.
Yeah, true. Like when you're brushing, yeah, and we start brushing our teeth way before we write.
Yeah, so that gripping.
Oh, you got my slowly dying pen. Yes.
I got first.
Okay. So I will go ahead and share prompt number 1. This is episode 196. So we have just 4 more prompts. And one of these I'm going to tackle tomorrow on the church stream. And then we'll tackle the final 3 on next Saturday. There we go. On my channel for the 12-hour.
Ooh, we got to get up at 8. I mean, you have to be up before 8, but
Godspeed. I got a week to try to fix my sleep schedule.
So here's my thing. I went to bed at a reasonable time last night, and then I could not sleep. So I actually got out of bed to make a snack and then went back to bed.
I'm a stubborn person. If I've gone to bed, it better be like I'm either going to like have no control over natural events, like bodily functions. There we go. That covers like all orifices. Man, I just feel like it sounds worse when I'm trying to talk around it. But like that's the only thing that will get me out of bed. I am stubborn. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I feel wide awake, I'm like, sleep. I own you. Like, don't you run from me. Come back here.
I wish that I could do that, but sometimes I just can't.
Yeah. Though last night it was not as cold as it normally is. I think that affected me a little bit too.
Yeah.
Because my husband, God, he's a freaking heater. And he amoebas me. Like morphs around me.
You're just like, I'm dying.
Yeah, and it is like it's great if it's really cold in the morning, but going to bed, you're like your temperature's still a little high.
Mm-hmm.
And even just sticking one foot out from under the covers, I'm still like, I feel sticky. Like it's like Velcro when his leg finally separates from mine. And I'm just like, please don't touch me today. Mm-hmm. Can we just like stick our butts out and our butts touch and that's it? Like nothing else.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. It's funny. We'll be mad at each other and still try to touch. Like for some reason, we need to touch going to sleep. What's up? Yeah, we'll probably FaceTime on my phone later.
Mm-hmm. He's ready to go.
I watch you.
He just gave me this look. He went, I watch you. It's like, what the hell, kid?
I said I'll just watch you.
Okay. All right. So prompt number 1, episode 196. We're getting so close. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm like actually ready to have a break from flash fiction. I know that's strange to hear, but if you think about it, Chandra and I have been doing this for over a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And Chandra just has to do it on Saturdays with me.
Yeah.
I've been doing it throughout the week.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's been creative, but now I'm like, I have other things I want to do. And
that's fair. But I mean, if you think about it too, this has been a process, like a growth process.
Yes. I was thinking about it last night. I mean, because by the time I got to do 4 flashes, like, and I can do one of them I have to do before next Saturday because it's episode 193 that I skipped over. But the other 3 I can do later, like after next Saturday. But that will get me to 250. And for some reason, I feel like I have to get... Okay, buddy, that looks really good. I like your shading all over the page. But but if I get those 3, then my total flashes from September 26, 2021 to now, or whenever it's the now is, will be 250 flashes. So, but I was thinking about it. I've learned how to do like switcheroo writing. I've learned how to, I've even written some dark stuff. I didn't know I could. I've dabbled in urban fantasy, which I never have before. I even tried to go full fantasy a little bit, which is actually difficult in Flash because you're trying to show it's otherworldly, but you're limited on your on your space here in words. Please don't stand on that. You're gonna fall. Please get down. Don't put this up here. So we have one of those, this thing right here, by the way, this pink thing, this is one of those beams that can lay on the floor and kids can walk across for gymnastics because Zoe actually used to do that. He's got it on here on the bench and is walking across it. I'm like, you're just going to fall. Like, please.
Like, no, you can't do that.
I really don't want my 5-year-old to like $1 million baby himself, please. Okay. Like I can't handle that.
Wait, what? I spoiler. I haven't actually seen that movie.
Okay, well, at the very, very end of the movie, and it's been out for a long time, so warning now, in the next 5 seconds, um, she gets punched, like sucker punch or whatever, and it's like a bad thing or whatever. And when she falls down, no one moved the stool. It's a boxing thing, by the way. No one moved the stool in the corner, so the edge of the stool hits her right here, and it paralyzes her whole body. And then at the end, her coach pulls the plug for her because he knows that's what she would want. But she could have been great. She could have been a contender. Yeah. So when we say $1 Million Baby Yourself, that's it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch that movie now.
It's actually pretty good. It's got some developmental stuff. Okay. Prompt number 1. Retired veterans telling their war stories. Words to include are interment. There we go. Interment, fret, kneel, fasten, drizzle, nursery, abundantly, scarce, discourteous, and grant. I'm actually going to have to.
Interesting because we have antonyms in here. Like, well, not exactly, but like abundantly and then scarce.
Yes. I'm gonna see if I can get those in the same sentence now.
Okay, well, this will be interesting.
We can do it. I've already posted it in the chat too.
Okie doke. I pinned that, so we are ready to go, and we will begin in 3, 2, and 1. Nope. I'm not done. Not done yet. I have 2 words left, and I know exactly how I.
I have a lot more than 2 words left. I got 1, 2. Oh no, I only got 4 left, but still.
I have written 647 words.
4 is 100% more than 2.
As Alex just said, 4 is 100% more than 2.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
You know what computer? That'd be cute.
I'm just finishing up. Like we do with it. I know we say we do 30-minute sprints, but I feel like anybody who watches this is like,
they are not doing that. But also, we're doing other stuff. Like, I went and grabbed some Pop-Tarts while I was in the middle of this. I, of course, have my water.
I got a
Yeah.
frozen coffee.
Yeah, like, it takes us a while to actually get started, so. Yeah.
Kelly's like, longest 30 minutes ever.
It doesn't feel like longest. I'm like, right, and I'm like, oh my god, I gotta get more. And then I even did a little bit of research just to like get me started. So
Who would have used all my
daughter.
Hey, you got a $20 bill in your wallet?
Yes, I do have a $20 bill. You asked me if I had a $5 bill, and I said no.
Can I take your 20 or do you need it?
I don't need my 20.
Are you sure? I can pull out another 20.
I'll need more money pulled out so we can tip the pet sitter when we leave for helping us. But you can take that 20 because that's going to be like 2 more weeks. Why am I having this conversation? Welcome. All right.
I'm done. That was it. I got the last word in. Okay, I'm going to share this with you.
All right.
I really like this story. I don't know how I feel about the characters. There's room for development. I will not lie there. The characters are flawed.
Oh. Well, you always write darker. All right.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't been able to express what each of their motives are. I think they're implied. Yeah, I know. I'm just curious to see what y'all will think. The motives are questionable, and the means do the means justify the end?
I kind of like those stories where it seems bad as you're reading it, but then when you find those like source, you're like, okay, I can see why.
Well, and that's my question. Can you see why?
Yeah.
Even if you can see why, do you agree or disagree?
That's what I think some of the best stories are. It's not the story itself, it's how it makes the reader feel. Like, what is their reaction? Do they agree with the characters? Do they disagree with the characters? Do they, like, that's what I want my stories to do. I don't think this one will. But we'll see. Hold on. Oh, wait. I know where I can put this word in. I just made it past tense. Okay, now I'm going to copy and paste. So at the end there, I had over 4 words and I was able to finish it. Okay, cool.
Yay.
Let's jump over.
What 4 words were your last ones to go?
Wait. Fasten. Discourteous. Or was it? Grant. And I think fret. Yeah. Those are my last 4.
My last 4 were Grant, Fasten, Kneel, and Drizzle.
Yeah.
I will say I knew how I was going to use Kneel and Drizzle, but Grant and Fasten there was a little finagling there.
Yeah, Spencer, what you need? Dude, she's asleep. Can we let Grandma sleep?
No.
We're not going to call her.
No, ma'am.
I'm trying to open them. All right, there. Now it opens. Okay, I'm adding mine at the bottom. Okay, fine. Ended up having like 452 words. So, okay. Let me remember to share the screen. Oh, wait. Cancel. We're not going to close that story down yet.
No, sir.
Mom.
Why is my letter opener under the desk?
I don't know. Why is it, Dobby?
Accurate.
You know, it's like Alex this morning. First, let me preface this. This man has like over 50 hats. Okay. And he was going, do you know where my hat is? I was like, dude, which one? Okay. And he named this specific one. I was like, I don't know. Like, I have no clue. This is why I go around this house.
Be more specific.
Yeah. Most of them are on this like really tall shelf in the laundry room. And whenever I see his hats, I used to grab them and just throw them in the laundry room, but he got mad one time. He was like, no, I had it on the couch because that's where I knew it was on the couch, and I was going to grab it today. And I was like, okay, fine. I won't clean up after you again. But yeah. Okay, I'm going to read Chandra's story. Oh, by the way, he didn't find the hat, but I bet he would have if I had been cleaning up after him and kept on throwing the hats where they're supposed to go. Just throwing that out. All right. Chandra's story. I don't think he ever thought of me when he was with the other retired veterans telling their war stories. He didn't think of my interment or understand what it was like when I was on bed rest, staring at the empty nursery through the open door across the hall. If we had ever learned to talk to each other, I would have asked him if he had been as frightened before his first battle as I was anticipating the birth of our child. As it was, my mother always patted my hand, saying, "Don't fret, darling. It's just part of being a woman." She was there to cook and clean and do all the things a wife was supposed to do around the house, but her snide reminders that I was just a little bit less than wherever present. I hardly saw my husband. Mother had made it clear that it was best if he stayed away, and the doctors had made it abundantly clear that he wasn't to sleep in the same bed as me. I worried. Mother made it clear that Father was also suffering on my account. He had gone to stay with my Aunt Agatha, and you know my sister can't cook worth a lick. Her gravy is always lumpy. I think that's why her husband died so young. Some people might think her sister would have a bit more empathy. They'd be wrong. Mother outright refused to bring the television into my room. Instead, she brought me magazines about housekeeping, cooking, babies, and fashion. That's all the entertainment a woman needs. With your condition, it's the least you could do to prepare. Even with a little bit of bed rest, privacy was scarce. She seemed to haunt me. She was always around the corner, ready to pop out if I dozed or shifted too much in bed. First, I thought I was dreaming. "Albert, no!" The sound of my mother's screams filled the night, and I could not get out of bed with the low rumble of his voice. I couldn't hear what my husband said, not till the door of my room was pushed open. I could see her silhouette against the dim light from the kitchen that filtered down the hall. Her head looked too large from the curlers that were still in, covered by the silk scarves. "No, Albert, you can't," she said. Her hands were on the door frame. She tried to take up space to keep him out. "Linda," he said, "get out of the way." "You've been very discourteous, Albert. I'm only doing what's best for the two of you. Now, go to it." "Oh!" I could see the shimmer of light in the blade he held in his hand, the jackknife he kept in his boot. He held the tip of it under her chin, looming over her. I was frightened of him. I'd always been frightened of him since he came back. There were lots of things about him that weren't the same. It wasn't just the rib scars that crisscrossed his chest or the burns on his back and arms, and the look he got in his eyes sometimes when he was remembering. The look he has in his eyes now. I said, "Move." My mother shook her head. "Albert, please," I whispered. I could see the way his spine stiffened. I could tell he had heard me. There was an audible pause before he decided to grant my request. He folded the blade of the knife away and grabbed her by the throat, turning her. He grabbed her purse from the side table and in the hall and backed her out of the front door. I could hear the lock thrown, hear him fasten the latch. I was shaking when he came back to the room, but he didn't take the knife out again. As he moved closer, he lowered himself to kneel by the bed, took my hand in his, and pressed it to his lips. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Outside, it began to drizzle. What the hell? Like, my mind went around so many places. First off, I was thinking, I was wondering why the girl was bedridden. And then later it came to the pregnancy, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then when I heard Albert, by the way, I thought it was her father, just because Albert's such a old fashioned name. But I actually kind of like that because no matter what name the mom called out, you would wonder who it is, because we weren't introduced to it. So you would have that effect no matter what. I do like how you set the woman, she is very flawed. And it's flawed to almost where you can't live with it. Whereas the flaw of the husband of Albert, that's something we can live with. You don't blame the person type flaw. But as I was reading, you already fixed the one problem typo that we had. What is it? I was wondering why the sister was brought in and everything.
So I brought in the sister to characterize the mother. Eva Close, that situation is between the main character's mother and husband. The mother is living with them. The main character is bedridden because she's pregnant, and the mother is keeping the husband away from his wife. So both of them are unsafe for different reasons, and it's which unsafe are you most comfortable with?
Yeah. I almost imagined Albert would still be in the house. I didn't expect him banned from the house. It was just seemed like he was banned from the bedroom.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, that's right.
And the thing that got me though is with the setup. I was like, am I about to have multiple people cheating? Because if mom's husband is with her sister, and her sister died long ago, and she was saying oh, her cooking sucks and everything. I was like, is he going to leave her for the sister? And then she's going to be all upset and then start sleeping with her daughter's husband or something.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
That's where my mind was going with all this explanation of couples being split and everything. And which I mean, I know it was put there to kind of where the mother was almost blaming, like, well, because you're bedridden due to pregnancy, this is happening, you know.
Eva said, so the woman standing in the doorway is what kept him away. Yes. And the knife is what he needed. I think he kind of went overboard.
A little bit, yeah.
But
I would say the knife situation.
Like there were he could have just been like, Linda, get up out my house. Like he could have done that, but he was like, you know, really, he wanted to intimidate her. But I also don't think, like, at the beginning when she talks about if we'd ever learned to talk to each other, that neither of them are particularly good at expressing what they need or want, because she could have just told her mom. Like,
but I love that after this whole situation, as tense as it was, he becomes very vulnerable to her and on the bedside, and I just found that endearing.
Eva's cracking me up though.
Yeah, I know.
The nicer guy that knows in my family, that woman would have been just pushed to the ground on day one.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
Mom, you're being a bitch.
My fam.
Snatch
her by those curlers.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I mean,
okay.
I do.
You know you can put Bolt on the TV. You want Dad's laptop. How many screens are you going to take up at once?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah. I do. So the thing I do like about the mom though is she's so ununderstanding and unempathetic for what you would expect another woman to be, especially to like her daughter or daughter-in-law, where what is her daughter, but where she's there to support, but everything that she does has this like snide edge to it, this undertone of like you're less a woman because you are on bed rest, and when I was pregnant with you, I did everything. I still kept a perfect house, and like I didn't need this kind of help, so you still kind of suck, but I'm here. You're welcome. And so that's why all the like the
you should be thankful.
Yeah, you should be thankful. That's why all the remarks about the sister and the what entertainment she needed and stuff like that. That was what I wanted.
I wonder if you could even throw in if here a small line to show a little even more. Be like, hold on.
She's there to be the hero.
Yeah, but where was it?
We've never met anyone like that.
Okay. When she says, and you know my sister can't cook worth a lick, instead of that, and you know my sister, and you know since you get your cooking from my sister somehow, her gravy is always lumpy.
Oh, yeah.
Like kind of like a stab of even when she wasn't bedridden.
So it's not just talking about her sister, it's also implying that her daughter is a lot like her sister.
Yeah.
I like that. In foster groups I'm in, not a foster or former foster. That's the common thing complained about by foster parents. You should be grateful. Maybe make the mom's child a foster. Oh,
I wonder how you could say, oh my God, I just thought of an idea of how to make this 10 times deeper. What if the aunt was a like much younger sister? Because I've seen stories of like this where she was a younger sister, like, and they have so many years of separation that when she got pregnant at like 13 or something like that, it was our main character, but the older sister raised her
because she was already married.
Yes.
Ooh, so she already has this like inherent disdain for her daughter, who's actually her niece.
And she has this disdain for her sister, too. And like maybe she couldn't have children, so it was like this bitterness of she couldn't have her own children, and her sister could, but pushed the responsibility onto her.
Mm-hmm.
type thing. Or like she felt it was my sister should be grateful because I'm taking this responsibility, because obviously a 13-year-old can't
Mm-hmm.
raise a child and everything. So I like that trio I see doing real shorts where the daughter, mother, and grandma all under 45. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That
That could definitely be like that.
don't tell me stuff like that, because I'm in my 30s, and if I become a grandma in my 30s. Luckily, I've had talks with my daughter. I think she's pretty good, and I plan to. Luckily, my son, it would be in my 40s, but with the separation of my kids, I think my daughter could make me a grandmother, and then my son, I'd look at him and be like, "You don't start yet," and like we would still have the talk.
I feel like I can't imagine having to like plan that out, or just be like, don't do this to me, like don't do this to you, but also don't do this to me, because I'm not ready yet.
I'm not ready to be called like any of the variations of grandma. I know I got pregnant. I'm the youngest of 3. And I got pregnant shortly after my sister did.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my sister's like last 4 months is when I got pregnant. So we overlapped by 4 months or something like that, or 2 months, whatever it was. Yeah, it would have been last 2 months. And I was just like, luckily my parents were already like ready to be grandparents because they were in their 50s. But still, I was just like, yeah.
I had all the talks given to me, and all the talks were given to my daughter. Just be there for your child and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I was a teen mother, and so was my mother, and so was my daughter. My mother, myself, and daughter all lacked familial support in big ways. Also, my daughter's B-day is today.
Yay,
oh, happy birthday!
Yeah, I think I plan to do what my mother did, because I mean, yeah, I got pregnant at 20, but that's when I got pregnant was right when 16 and Pregnant came out, and I went, okay, I'm a sophomore in college. At least I'm not a sophomore in high school. Like, I was like, let me like have some grounding moments. Everyone still had a freaking opinion what to do, but it was interesting because I mean, one, it worked out. I'm with the guy still. My daughter's here, but my mother always had this, like, if I started a conversation with her, I would say, "Hey, I need you to be my mom," or I was like, "Hey, I need you to be like the open ear," which was meant she couldn't like chime in and everything. And we had that open dialogue where I could admit things to her without like suffering punishment and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've already started trying that with my daughter, because one time my daughter, she's like, "Mom, I got to tell you something." She's like 9. And I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I keep myself grounded here, because this could set the stage for all future communication. Whatever she tells me, even if it's bad, I need to make sure she doesn't get in trouble, and we come up with a way to fix it and everything. And she's 9, so I don't know what I thought, how bad it could be. And then she goes, "I should have been reading 20 minutes a day this whole year for school, but I haven't." And I was like, okay. And in my head, I'm like, like I'm about to laugh. But outside, I'm like, okay, well, thank you for telling me. And we'll just start reading from now on, right? And he goes, uh-huh. And I'm like, all right, awesome. See, it's good. Thank you for telling me. I really appreciate that. And I give her a hug and everything. And she like sniffles as she walks away. And I'm like, what the hell?
Dobby, no. I think he wants my coffee. Let's see. 26 years ago, I became a mama, but I didn't get to feel like until about 5 years ago. It's a wild life. Oh, and she's asking, is she 12 yet?
Yeah, Zoe's 12 now. But at the time, she was like 9 or something.
Okay, gotcha. I was like, I thought she was older than that. But
yeah, she was 9. And since then, we've had conversations. Oh, and then... So I was picking Zoe up and her friend from their first middle school dance. And so I pick them up, and Zoe turns to her friend going, "Oh, can I, she started saying something. And she goes, "Oh, by the way, I tell my mom everything." And I'm like,
best feeling ever.
Yeah. And
honestly,
but then her friend got slighted. So I'm wondering what secret she's keeping of her friend, which is fine. That's not my place. But her friend was like, "Everything?" And I was, and then she actually asked her, Zoe, her friend asked my daughter, like, hey, could you not tell her about that? Or like, Zoe started telling me something and said, no, please don't tell her about that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Anyway, it's cute. It's been happy moments.
Well, I mean, that's also one. It's important that her friends know that they can trust her, but it's also important that she knows she can trust you, because if she
There's been
gets to a
times.
point where she feels really uncomfortable, like she can always tell you stuff about her, but if she gets to a point where she's like, this friend has too much going on and I don't know how to handle this and I'm uncomfortable now, she knows that she can still come to you with stuff like that.
And I hope she always has that, because I feel like I actually I've read stories about of people going, I told my kid, if they call me or they text me like banana or whatever the safe word is or something, that I will come pick them up. I don't care if they're not where they were supposed to be for the night. I don't care. Like it's like a pass and everything. So,
well, and I sent you that article. I don't know if you saw it. I sent it last night, but
I'll read it today.
In the area where I live, this girl was murdered by a guy, and there were a couple things that happened. One, she screamed and the neighbors didn't call the police, and she'd also shared her location to a family member, and I guess they didn't see it in time or whatever.
Oh.
That was actually how they found the scene of the crime, was because she dropped her location. And it's like that person did all the right things, but in that context, like you never know like why people are reaching out to you. So to have that open communication and that accessibility of just like, whatever's happening, we don't have to talk about it when it's happening. We just have to be able to say like, do contact me. It doesn't, well,
absolutely.
The trouble, whatever it is, we can figure that out later. Let's get you to a safe place first. I think that's important. But I mean, even myself, I know I've been not in that situation, obviously, but in similar situations or situations that could have become that situation, and had a plan in place with like friends of text me and ask me a question that only I know. I
went on a date, and there should have been so many warning signs, but I was like 15. And the guy was 28. There should have been so many.
Did you know that before, or did you find out after? You did?
I knew that before, and it was that whole thing. Nothing like much happened other than kissing, and then I got mono a week later, so I think he's the reason why. But and I'm pretty sure, to save my feelings, because he picked a fight at one point, and I was like, you know what, this isn't gonna work out. And he's like, all right, if you say so or whatever. But I think he picked the fight on purpose to spare my feelings, so that I ended it. Now that I'm older and I'm looking back on it and stuff.
But and he knew how old you were. Yeah,
he knew. Yeah.
And he asked you out? Ooh. That's scary. Like, now that I've actually been seeing a lot of like TikToks and stuff like that, talking about how are we like 15 and 16-year-old and like hanging out and dating college guys.
I hope
really big in the 90s.
I hope Zoe does better than me and everything. But that was one of my like stupid moments. But of course, at the time, I didn't think it was stupid. Like I did get a weird feeling though, because I had my parents drop me off and said I was gonna go with my friends, and my friends knew that I was using them as a like outlet. Said I was going to the movies. Then he picked me up from the movies, and he actually met my friends. Like, so we felt we were all doing okay. But I mean, seriously, that could have gone south so bad.
Yeah. Oh, what Eva said here, there's happy secrets and heavy secrets.
Yeah.
And there's a place to share secrets. Sometimes it's in the backseat of the car with the one who asked you to keep the secret isn't the best time. Tell mom later. That's fair.
Yeah.
Y'all, I left a sleepover once and got locked out, and the police were called. Children without cell phones.
Oh my God, so many things. Like, I think now I'm like, oh my God, like we would never know. Of course, but like there was always a list. I remember growing up, there was always a list of my friends' numbers for the like houses I would stay at. And you would just call and be like, where are the kids at?
Also, yeah. Other than kissing, like, that's not too much for a grown man and a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here, make it worse. So, like, age, like, we're 14 years apart or something. Or, no, like 13, 14. He had a 4-year-old daughter that was the exact distance apart from my age. Yeah.
Oh, no. Like, he knew better.
Yeah. I don't know what was going through his mind. I think he reined it back or something. Like I said.
I mean, the sparing your feelings part is fair, but the other thing to consider is that, yeah, he had to spare your feelings because if he pissed you off,
ooh, it could have been more cunning and everything instead of being nice.
And he didn't know how you would respond to that.
So my daughter's father is my age, but his girlfriend stayed teens for a long while, and they were 18, 19. Oh my God. So I was 25 maybe, and or a little bit older, but my father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they ended up splitting up and getting a divorce. No, so my father-in-law was like newly on the scene, and it's myself, my husband, his son, and then my sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, his other son, and we're all hanging out. And my father-in-law looks to my sister-in-law and I and going, hey, do you have any friends? I became discourteous, to use the word. And I was like, if your age range is the same age as your son's wives, you need to reevaluate your life.
Oh, for sure.
I like, and my husband, he doesn't like it when I yell at his parents and everything. He's like, that's not your place. You didn't grow up with them and stuff. And I was like, I can't help it in that instance.
Oh, no, I meant to click on this one.
Yeah. As long as relationship that I was made aware of was 6 years. They broke up when she was 21. What the hell? 6 years? And she was 21 when they broke up.
The math.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, but I can do math.
Sidebar. Both Natalie and I follow Emily D. Baker.
Yes.
This whole Balenciaga stuff.
I gotta jump on that.
It kind of relates to
this.
Yeah, and it's mind-blowing. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, so with the sleepover, she was staying with the neighbor literally right across the sidewalk. I walked out and their door was locked. I left my house key inside, walked to my grandma's a few blocks away. My mom called the police when she got off work, worked the third shift, and the neighbor said I wasn't there. Called grandma about 20 minutes later and found me. My son recently got Facebook Messenger for kids. If your son has that, we should connect them. Yes, absolutely. He doesn't have Facebook Messenger for kids, but he can't type and write. But I would love to. Eva, our kids sound like the boys sound like they're gonna get along. Zoe has Facebook Messenger kids, but now she's getting to the age where her friends also have cell phones and stuff. And Zoe got in trouble because I was on the phone for a meeting, and I'm getting messages on my personal laptop from my from one of Zoe's friends' moms. Goes, hey, our daughters were up till 12:30 last night, which was a school night, and they got to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. And this past week, Zoe tried to get out of school twice, saying she didn't feel good. It's like, no, you're sleep deprived. Like, I'm fine with her. I want her to have the consequences of her actions, but with sleep deprivation, you can actually get physically ill. And so it's like, that's, yeah. Okay.
I mean, being sleep deprived does make you not feel good, but like, you played yourself.
Wait. All right. I was told she was 20 when I first met her 6 years prior. Oh my God. If you gotta lie about the person's age.
You know what you're doing is wrong. Oh, that's scary.
My daughter was 7 to 14 old at the time. Oh
That's
my
scary.
God. Oh,
You know, though, I realized as an adult how many times I was put in compromising positions by the adults around me who knew better and didn't do anything about it. And I feel like, in a way, society was groomed collectively to feel
Yeah.
like stuff like that was okay.
Well,
From things like telling people, oh, you don't want to date a boy. You want to date a mature man because he knows what he wants and he'll be ready to provide for you. And women mature faster than men, so you want to date somebody older.
yeah.
Like all of y'all know better. You know better. The thing isn't that we mature faster, it's that because we are younger, if an older man wants to date a younger woman, then she's more malleable and more controllable because she doesn't know better. And
Yeah.
everybody was kind of complicit in all of that.
Eva, I'm glad it may not be for statutory stuff, but I'm glad that he has been punished for at least some actions, especially DD like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, like one of the situations that I was in, I was actually typing something for someone and I was supposed to get paid for it. And I think I was probably 11 or 12 at the time. And then this was like in a campus life situation. And this one of the deans came in, I think he was the boys dean, came in and took over. He like kicked me out. And I was really upset because I was like trying to make some extra money. And he like sat me down later and like gave me $5 for my time. And then was like, oh, you know, this guy has been known to be inappropriate with young women, one of whom was my sister. The guy who did this is in his 30s at the time, the one who had a conversation with me. What I want to know is, you're 30, you knew this guy was inappropriate with your sister at some point in time a while ago, and he's still here.
Yeah, like that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be going around warning people.
Yes.
As the solution.
What are you going to do? Like chaperone him the whole time he's on campus? He shouldn't be on campus.
Yeah.
If you know, and you just told me you knew, he shouldn't be on campus.
Oh my God, she was pregnant and he broke her jaw. And she was 19. Holy shit.
Yeah, Eva, keep better company. But I mean, I feel like now as an adult, it is my responsibility to call things out like that. Which
Oh no, I insert myself, but I also it's if it's not illegal, it's just like socially unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I ask the people involved, like let's take a 19-year-old and a 30-year-old, legal technically.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would go to the 19-year-old and be like, hey, like, and have a conversation. If I'm close enough to the person or something like that. If it's illegal, I don't talk to you. I just freaking handle it. I will call the proper authorities, whatever the case may be, and report it. But if it's everyone as an adult legally, then I have a conversation before I act, because I don't want to insert myself if they don't even want my help. Now, if it's just dating, everyone's smart, cordial, and they go, no, it's fine, I'll stay out of it. But if it starts becoming illegal, such as DV, now we're going into the illegal range, and I'll just act.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with that. I feel like if it was a friend of mine, I would have to call them out and then like, you know, cut ties, because like, you know, both people are of age, but it's like super questionable, especially depending on their behavior toward the younger party.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think also part of it is I've seen people justify some really strange things, like do mental gymnastics, even to make themselves feel like they're not the victim of something.
Yeah.
And if you have to do those kinds of mental gymnastics, like it does I think it makes it probably harder to see those other people in compromising situations. Because I know
totally.
one person who was like 13 and dated a 30-something-year-old for a while.
God.
And their parents knew about it. And even as an adult, they still had a hard time seeing that that was a problem.
Yeah, it's like it's harder in that situation because it's not just like, oh, I was keeping secrets or whatever. No, the parents knew, so they were like, oh, it must be okay, and so I made them push down any unease they had,
Mm-hmm.
and just it's heartbreaking, like, because it makes me think the book you and I both read, the I'm Glad My Mom Died.
Mm-hmm.
She was, and that's the way my own therapy life has been, where you're in therapy and you go, oh my God, what I thought was okay was actually not,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's a reevaluation of your history as you know it. Like taking out a filter and stuff
Mm-hmm.
for it. And it's groundbreaking, and like, it's like tearing down the house and rebuilding it again. And because the plans you thought you had, like, to build the house, no, that isn't it. That was not how it was.
Yeah. Well, even like Eva's saying here, 13-year-old can't date a 30-something-year-old. They can be abused with permission from the adults in the child's life, no exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
That was the hard part for me to wrap my head around, because now as an adult, this person, as described to me, dated a 30-something-year-old and still holds that in their mind as an ideal of what was a good relationship for them.
There can be good moments, but yeah. Oh, wow. That's a point. Like, my daughter's 12
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Like,
first of all, I would be like, what brother? Yeah, they needed a parent and they didn't have one.
No. It's like a complete disservice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Shit. Whatever.
Yeah. No, I would 100% be like.
By the way, I totally just deleted the Word document version of my story. Mm-hmm. So I will have to make sure I copy and paste the Google Doc version and save it.
Got you. Oh, I still haven't read your story, which I need to do because we are at 10 o'clock. So we are.
Oh, wow. We really.
Right, brother.
I think the next one we can make it 20 minutes and try to do like 100-word test or something like that.
Okay. I like, make that our challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, wait, that's Albert. Okay, yeah. Here's my story.
No, Eva, 100%. It would be like, but I mean, also like, I feel like we had a really good conversation though, and just kind of, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, this has been, Dobby, you cannot have my coffee. I will sacrifice.
I had an ex-boyfriend who at age 19 lost his virginity to the woman next door who was like in her 40s. And him telling me that he saw no problem in it. And I was completely disgusted.
I feel like that's part of what's so hard, though. My story brought up that conversation. I mean, it did.
Yeah.
Because we got down the rabbit hole of the story. But
yeah, because I thought everybody was going to cheat on each other. And like the mom getting with the husband situation, that would have been a huge thing. But okay. But you were saying the acceptability of just women.
Yeah, the people are kind of, society has been groomed to feel like that's okay in some sense or another. And then even people who've experienced it sometimes have a hard time getting enough separation to realize that what they went through was not okay.
Well,
even
and then
if they felt okay about it or thought they felt okay about it, it wasn't okay.
Yeah, and even there's some stories, especially with YouTube, I found age gap relationships and stuff. But I will say a 30-year-old meeting a 40-year-old and starting a relationship is a lot different than a 19-year-old and a 35-year-old.
What, Dottie? No, sir. Stop. He's like really trying to get to my coffee cup.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I mean, when I was 23, I dated someone who was 33 for a little while, and within like a very short period of time, he was like, "Come move in with me," and I was like,
No.
"I'm gonna go." That's not. I'm just like holding him with one hand like this, and he's just looking around and purring. He's like totally fine with this. My cat's weird. Okay, I'm gonna read your story.
Okay, sweetie.
Because we're never gonna
We'll
get
push
done.
time. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. As I live and breathe, Cleveland is kicking. Cleveland is still kicking. Didn't you always say you were going to die in your sleep by the time you turned 65? Phoenix said as he clapped Cleveland's shoulder. Daddy! He's so cute. Cleveland's shoulder from behind. You're one to talk, Phoenix. You got your name because you somehow kept coming back. You would have gotten the name Gomer if the show had been out by the time we shipped off. Cleveland patted Phoenix's hand on his shoulder before offering the seat next to him. Just before Phoenix sat down, he dropped an oncology pamphlet. He lowered himself to kneel, but held the back of the chair with one hand as he picked up the paper. Cleveland saw, but fastened his lips as Phoenix groaned and pushed himself back up and huffed as he sat down. Well, I hope I live up to the name, Phoenix. Phoenix held up the pamphlet. Ah, hell. The shit we inhaled in our 20s, it is worse than that. Cleveland offered a smile. Have you seen any of the other fellas? Phoenix laughed. Yeah, I ran into Dallas and Tex, but I was surprised they came here since they both still live in their hometowns of Sacramento and New York. Cleveland laughed. Am I the only one whose call sign is where I actually am from? Phoenix's shoulder shook as he chuckled. Probably. Since silence befell the pair as they looked around the room as the nurses doted on each patient. Doted? Is that supposed to be doted? As they helped them out of their seats and prevented others.
Spencer's talking to me. I thought I was like, what is dotted and doted and okay. We'll go with it.
And prevented other patients from leaving when they were told they would have to get some shots. Cleveland said, how can one place be a nursery and an internment all at the same time? Phoenix followed Cleveland's eyes. Well, wasn't that life in the service too? Cleveland nodded with a snicker. Oh man, do you remember the night we had watch duty? Which one? Phoenix retorted. The buffalo? Cleveland stared down Phoenix with a raised eyebrow. Phoenix shook his head. You told me to shoot. It was drizzling and my glasses kept fogging up. Cleveland held up his hands. Yeah, then explain how you know exactly where I needed to aim if your vision was so scarce. Cleveland shrugged. No need to fret. At least we know how much a buffalo costs now, since we had to buy the village next door a new one. Yeah, the government seemed to have a lot more money back then. Abundantly, Cleveland said. Grant, a nurse called out. Phoenix raised his hand, almost fretting before pushing himself out of the chair with a grunt. Nodding at Cleveland, Phoenix shuffled over to the inpatient. "Hey, Grant," Cleveland called. "I don't want to be discourteous, but I'm Jeffrey." Wait, do they not actually know each other's names?
Nope. It was all call signs.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, what Eva said, use fret earlier. It feels weird in the second.
Yeah, I thought I didn't use it. So, and actually, I'm starting to think I didn't highlight the rest of my story.
Is there more?
I thought there was a little bit more.
I will also say there was a lot of grunting.
Yeah, I was trying to show they're old and everything. Hold on.
They're in a
no,
clinic.
I think that's all I got. Okay. What were you saying?
They're in a clinic, right?
Yeah. Like I was thinking like Walter whatever that's Reed. in Washington DC or something like that.
So some ways you could mix it up would be like he eased himself down to his knee.
Well, and the thing is, in my imagery, he's never letting his knee touch the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. But that was a situation of where I had to use the word kneel.
Yeah.
And it just
or like he eased himself to kneel but thought better of it before his knee touched the floor. Or something like that. Where you're like and then instead of a groan, like he sighs like he's really tired.
Yeah, that's why I put a huff there, but hold on, where he lowered himself to kneel, but thought better of it. He held the back of the chair with one hand.
And then Eva said it seems like up was used a lot here.
Yeah. Back up and held up and
yeah. I don't know if you can see this, but let me highlight it on my side so you can see all the places.
Yep, let's just make it a neon sign.
Sorry.
Don't start a drinking game, people.
And then
I have alcohol poisoning. Oh, hold on.
There's a couple down here that are back to back.
Okay.
Yeah. I like this. The age can come up in a literal mention of how long ago things were, in addition to the necessary actions that remain. I do feel like I also agree with Eva that there's a lot of actions.
Irrelevant actions.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're irrelevant, but I think there's ways that you can convey the same information.
I was actually thinking about that of so Phoenix is lowering himself, and I was like, why is he kneeling? And then I went, oh, he drops an oncology pamphlet, and I was like, and so it may add it to the story in that moment.
No, I thought that was good, but also when he clapped Cleveland on the back here, and then he pats his shoulder here, and then I think there was another.
It was the Cleveland patted Phoenix's hand or something.
Okay, so that part wasn't super clear to me, but one thing I did think as a good opportunity to show, maybe when he claps him on the back, it's actually like stronger than he expected it to be, or it's actually so hard that it kind of almost like jolts him a little bit because he's, not as strong as he used to be. Like there's a couple ways that you could write that depending on the character. And then,
Oh, I like that. Phoenix could brandish the pamphlet instead of hold it up. Okay. I'm reading some of Eva's comments here.
yeah. No, I like that. I like the brandishing it.
Yeah. And actually,
I also think maybe when Phoenix is like going for the pamphlet that he dropped, Cleveland could make a comment about some old injury, and that could be a way that you bring in the how long it's been, of like, oh, is your knee still bothering you from like 69 or whatever?
Yeah, or it's been 56 years or whatever to say.
And your knee, and that knee still bothers you.
Yeah.
And then maybe like, oh, you remember how I got it, don't you? Or something along those lines, just to imply that they've been around each other for a long time. And I know this is petty, and I might be the only person who trips over this.
We accept petty here, sweetie. But
whereas the impatient nurse, it tripped me up because there's also like
doting.
Inpatient is like
the inpatient surgeries and stuff. Meaning,
yes. Yeah. And so I mixed those up.
Yeah. All right. Oh my god, I hate this prompt already. I'm typing up a prompt for the next one, by the way.
Oh, I like this. If that fall in 57 didn't do you in, I figure you'll kick that too.
Oh, nice. Oh, wait. No, wrong place to do the prompt. Over here.
We don't care about the nurse. Remove that descriptive.
Yeah, good point. Okay.
The only way I would leave it in is if you kind of use it as characterization for Phoenix. Where it, like, dismisses the inpatient nurse.
Good point. Okay. Like she's tapping her foot and he just like side eyes her or something.
Yeah. Like he like just like.
Oh my god. Oh,
sorry.
Stop yawning.
Nurse, thank you for what you do, but we don't know you. That would also be a good spot to put in kind of a morbid, self-deprecating joke. Like he could make a comment about like, and this is 100% like misogynistic a little bit. I say a little bit. It's misogynistic, but he could be like something along like, all right, sweetheart. Like I don't know how much time I have left to see an old friend or something like that. Like,
yeah, something to show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a few ways to play with that. Sorry, I was also typing up the next prompt. I could see them being a little smart aleck, but also like their time period, I could see them being a little like what's the word of like there's something as we get older, it controls less in our brain.
Lower inhibitions.
Yeah, and where we just have no filter and everything.
Yeah.
I can just channel, pretend like listen to my father as he speaks because I think my father's headed in that direction already. like, I've realized my father is a little bit the creepy old man. He goes, like, he'll go on YouTube, be like, there's this is a great building video, and the gals building the deck, they're not too shabby looking either. I'm like, Dad, that doesn't freaking matter.
The other day, I say that the other day, but I have those moments with family members as well where they say something and I'm like, did you always talk that crazy?
I know, like, what point in my age did I cross it? Were you always this way? And then now I'm just becoming privy to this side of you because I'm an adult? Or are you just getting older and it's like just happens to coincide?
I swear it's like, how they have adult humor in kids' movies so that like adults don't have to suffer while they watch movies with their kids.
Yeah.
Kids don't pick up on those innuendos.
No, they don't.
And now I like watch stuff as I'm older and I'm like, oh, they went there. And like, it, but I feel like I did the same thing with family of just being like, were you always this cringe?
Yeah. Like I think I will never send my father to a nursing home. Not only because I love him dearly and I think I'll be able to take care of him, but also I don't want to push him out there on the nurses that are just trying to get their clinical hours.
I don't know if you just saw Dobby hit me in the face, but Dobby straight up hit me in the face.
Like with his paw, like, was it open paw or closed?
No, it was like the back of his arm, just like bam.
Oh, so it was like an elbow, like.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes. Oh, I like what Eva said here. They just can't wait to get their hands on me.
Yes. Oh my God, that is perfect.
Also, like I could literally hear that.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta add that in here somewhere. All right, hold on. Where's the impatient freaking nurse? Okay.
My mother says these things about her male dogs.
Nurse.
LOL.
Oh my God, that reminds me. So my sister, middle sister, I got a sister who's 12 years older than me, then another sister who's 4 years older than me. But the middle sister used to teach nursing. And she had an entire lesson where she was trying to teach the students, be like, why would STDs be rampant at a nursing home or like stuff like that? And the students were like, well, maybe the cleaning practices of the needles and stuff like that, maybe this. And then my sister like summarizes it and goes, no, old people are horny. And it was just to like teach them, don't rule out the obvious, like, and stuff like, and it's just, that's what it makes me think of this like situation of
like you
like
might
the nurses. Yeah. Like the I remember I went to like visit a people are horny. I went to visit a like, it was kind of a nursing home, but it was a hospital and everything. It was a veterans hospital because it was near this in the city that I was living in at the time, and I was volunteering through work or something. And I had to call one of the nurses. I was like in my early 20s because I walk in and I'm talking to the guy. I'm like, how are you doing? And he's silent. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can talk. And then he starts to move the robe laying across his lap. Like he had his robe wrapped and he starts to unfold it. I'm like, I'm gone. Nope. No, I'm out.
Nope. So we're going to do 20 minutes this time, right? Because that'll leave us 15 minutes to wrap.
Yep. And the goal is 100 words.
Okie doke.
Which is usually harder.
Yeah. Let me share this screen here.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to stop sharing mine. as I write this final thing. There we go.
All right.
Oh, it's all
And-
festive. Thank you, Laura Nettles, for the thing. What, Spencer?
All right. We're going to start in 3, 2, and 1.
1. I love this timer.
Isn't it great?
Oh, that was so pleasing.
So I finished. I don't know if you saw. I put the final
Yes, I
three
did.
3 seconds before it went off.
And I'm just like, you know what? We set a timer for 20 minutes when we were able to make 30, and we still did. I got a blanket. My son's been crazy. He wanted a snack. I got him a snack and everything. Like, it's been a good day. Okay.
Hi, Shannon. So about the
Oh, wow,
100
things didn't come
words. I did.
Oh, you went over? I got exactly 100. I was done at like 7 minutes, and no, actually, so I was typing everything out, and I saw in the bottom corner it said 100 words, and I was like, oh shit, that's right, we got a word limit here. And other than the normal flash of 1,000, and but then I highlighted it, and at that time I only had 81 words, and I was like, okay, I need to be mindful. And I started going through.
Ow.
Was that Dobby?
Yes. Ow. Oh, shit. You got my foot.
You got a Band-Aid kit within reach?
I do. It's not bleeding, so there's that.
Yeah. What the?
Did really hurt though.
Okay. We did get a bot, and I handled that. I blocked them.
I saw
Cat
it. I
came
actually
in.
stepped away from my computer for a minute.
Yeah. Cat came in. Called it a punk. Eva said hi.
Hi, Cat.
Oh, Cat, I do hope that your blood works wrong, since that's what you need to do. Because if it's correct, either my body isn't absorbing nutrients correctly, and or my diet doesn't provide nearly enough nutrients. Huh. Sending you all the love, dear. And all the vibes for comfort and best news, as Eva said it. There we go.
Fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, I agree, Kat, that and Eva says, like, getting diagnosis is heavy stuff. And always Eva says, I try to remind myself I always had the diagnosis. Getting it, though, that's opens the treatment. So yay, chronic illness.
That's fair.
But yeah, like, naming it, I feel like, is getting closer to naming a solution, even if it's a modified solution.
Yeah. Well, and then you're protected in some senses as well, as far as like work and things like that go.
And then Shannon came in.
Let me read your story because we've got
yes.
12 minutes.
Luckily, it's 100 words. So we did great. All right, let's go.
All right. Charlotte dismissed Macy's concern. We'll tackle that in the new year. Honey, when you're old, every day is a new year, Marcy said.
When you're this old.
Oh, sorry. When you're this old, every day is a new year, Marcy said. Are you going to retire from the reactor? Marcy shook her head. Hell, I'd work on this landmine for free. She quickly added, but don't tell Sage that. Charlotte laughed. Your secret is safe with me as long as you continue teaching me your tricks and sharing those gluten-free figs. Oh, so you have been devouring my babble? Here I thought I was the oldest fossil in the lab. We learn more from fossils than the living. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I like it. I like their banter. I want to know who Sage is.
Yeah, I assume the boss. At first I said, don't tell them that. Then I was like, crap, I need Sage. Sage can be a name. Let's move.
Also, yeah, hey, great job sticking those words in. Yeah, you did, like, short. I mean, mine is like, now I feel a little bad because I did not get all the words in.
Oh shit, I didn't even share the screen.
Oops.
Sorry, dears.
Oopsie.
I'll share it this go around. But yeah, short. Very short.
Yeah, I like it. I think it, I don't know, I feel like it does a lot in a very short amount of words. I feel like you're good at that. And
I feel like it's just a slice of life situation and everything, and but yeah, it still works. It's 100 words. It's not going to be any life breaking stuff. So
I also
okay.
like the name choices. I feel like they're not super common.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because normally I'm like, I feel like I'm rotating between the same names all the time. But when I started writing, I was like, Marcy, yep. Then I was like, who's the other person? Charlotte. Like somehow the names came to me. Like the characters were like, hey, my name's Marcy. Write it down.
One of your names is my mom's name. I feel like she's come up a lot this morning. Gonna go give her a ring after this.
Aww,
Oh,
Charlotte.
hi, moms.
I'm gonna call my mom at some point. Actually, my son calls my mom enough for me, and then he goes, "Here, talk to your mom," and like hands me the phone, and he's just running around. I'm like, "You called her."
He wants to know that she's there and available.
Yeah. He calls my husband's mom. He calls my mom, and just constantly. Either way.
Ooh, Shannon said the names made me feel like a Victorian piece.
Oh,
I can see that.
That works.
Could be very Marie Curie.
Oh yeah. Just without the cancer. Wait, was she the one that did the DNA discovery, and then like all the guys took credit for her work?
Her husband got more Nobel prizes and had to be co-credited on her work, even though he died from cancer. But before, I mean, they did work together, but
yeah.
Yeah, but
Spencer's
her
calling for Lilo and
radioactive. It has to be like protected. Anyway, we've got 8 minutes.
Yes, I can read yours. It's just really cute. So Lilo's laying in the dining room with me, and downstairs is the playroom. It's a split level, so it's not a full set of stairs. Spencer's calling for Lilo, and Lilo actually got up and went downstairs to hang out with Spencer. It's adorable. So they're 2 peas in a pod. Okay. All right. Chandra's story. Chandra, not Chandra. God. Going on. It's a strange kind of hell, popping a fig bar into your mouth, ready to devour a tasty morsel, only to discover it's gluten-free. I say, I squeeze too much toothpaste onto my toothbrush in hopes the mint will cleanse my palate. Just when you think the old fossil can't come up with any other ways to torturing you, Gil said. Hey now, I say. He's still my dad. Gil flops onto the bed, tucking a pillow comfortably under his head, and leans back to watch me. You should have seen your face. You spat it out like you were chewing on a landmine. Oh, that's good imagery. That was not the kind of feast I was expecting at his party. I didn't realize he was churning over a gluten-free leaf in the new year, I complained. Here's some sage advice. Take smaller bites. Wait, do you hear that? Some kind of faint babble? Oh, be quiet, he said, throwing a pillow at me. I grabbed my phone. Oh, shit, it's someone it's something about the reactor. I gotta go. Ugh, he groaned. Scientists are never off duty. I love it. No one died. Well, unless the reactor is a foreshadowing of what could happen after the page. But I like the, you did good with the banter and everything. I will say at first, I'm thinking they're kind of like teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Until the grabbing the phone, I gotta go something at the reactor situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I got like teenager vibes before that.
Oh, that's interesting. No, they're supposed to be like an adult couple getting ready for bed after this party, and she's kind of embarrassed from.
So one way could do that is instead of Gil flops onto the bed, on their bed.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
It's their bed. That's one way. But I think like the use of the words was very like natural.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that because I even forgot about sage advice and stuff. Yeah, that was, yeah. Oh, and I just realized I think I stole space by making gluten-free a hyphenated word in mine to make it work.
So I had that on mine as a suggestion, and I was like, should it, Eva?
Eva, help us.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's still my dad. Makes me think of like, I would say late teens, but like not quite. Like I was thinking like still living under their roof, but by I think their bed, it kind of gives it a more of a setting.
Mm-hmm. I think it would also help if I could give a little bit more. Like with her, you totally get it, but with him, I don't think it's clear what his relationship with her dad is like.
Yeah.
Hey, only I can call the old man a fossil. Besides, we're going to be there soon enough ourselves. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that. I'm sorry. Sidebar. We're jumping back really quick, but seriously?
Ulcerative colitis cooks looks, and one was written by Kathleen Moisture. What?
I feel like that cat, that is you, right? Did you write that? Is there something you need to tell us?
Yeah.
Because you can tell us. You can tell us everything.
I do have to admit, Natalie is not a popular name. So when I see a Natalie, I'm like, oh, hi, name buddy, name twin. But I'll come across weird. So I just go, oh, okay. And
Well,
because I only
know.
noticed it in an email. And I'm not going to email people going, hi.
Oh, it is. It is.
Holy crap. Like, I thought it was just a first name thing. Wow. Like, I know no one has. I haven't come across anyone having my full name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So every time I think of Eva, even though it's supposed to be Eve, I think of Wally when Wally goes Eva.
Oh yeah.
But he's trying to say Eve, but he puts an "ah" at the end for some reason.
That's such a good movie.
It's so good. There's so many movies that I love, like from Disney, and I'm like, "Hey Spencer, let's watch this," and he goes, "No." I'm like, fine.
Why does he want to watch it?
Yeah, but he won't. Like, the things he's watching right now is The Bad Guys on repeat, and I know we're about to cut out Bad Guys on repeat and some other stuff. Right now it's Bad Guys, so which is okay. That's fine
as long as it's not SpongeBob.
Yeah, which he's still. We were going over his letters, and he was like, "A, and I'm like, "No." For anybody who doesn't know, clapping underneath the chin is how they make the SpongeBob laugh. So, okay. Bye, guys. We love you. Thanks for coming out. And
thanks for all the good chats, too. Such a good conversation.
Such a good chat. I love our chats. You will continue to see this, and we'll talk more about, on the 12-hour stream, we'll talk more about what Flash Fiction Live will look like. It's going to be summer. We're still going to be writing, but we're also going to be doing some editing. So that's a little tease for you. So,
also, Nia, people almost died, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what happens with the reactor, someone could die. Or an entire civilization, the world.
So with that,
we
will see you
bless you,
next time.
Bye, dears.
Bye. Ooh.
Oh, wait. You're clicking?
No, I was clicking the wrong button.
Are you clicking or me?
I got it.